All right, y'all. Let's freaking go. Sorry, I'm gonna not say the F word. I don't want to be demonetized on YouTube, but let's freaking go, baby. Listen, Deadpool and Wolverine came out this weekend and opening at $205 million. That is huge. It is in the top 6. I want to say it's number 6 highest opening Marvel films and a very high rated R opening. It's looking like it can hit that billion, y'all. Listen, I am so happy for Marvel. I'm so happy for Deadpool and Wolverine. And we've got to talk about Hall H and that crazy reveal that we got at the end. But not only that, we'll go through some Cap 4, Thunderbolts, and Fantastic Four as well, because there were some fantastic reveals at the panel. But guys, let's not wait too much longer. Let's get to our panelists, starting out with my co-host, Loretto. What's going on, man? How are you?
Hello, sir. California has cooled down, but the news got more spicy. We got so much to talk about, and I'm so jelly that I'm not down south in San Diego with the rest of our fellow nerds geeking out over this stuff. But yeah, lots to talk about.
Man, I'm gonna be real with you, bro. I got so much FOMO when I started
stuff. And not even just the Marvel stuff, dude. Not even just the Marvel stuff. I think there's a bunch of like horror things too, and it's just like
Alien.
The face huggers. That's what I saw, the face huggers they gave out. And I was just like, So I wish they'd get me one of those, but you know, next year
we'll be there. 2025, y'all count on it. Geekly Good is gonna have some live coverage, y'all. But let's get to our other co-hosts returning this week. We've got Ileana Melendez. What's going on, girl? How are you?
Oh my God, I'm good. I'm great. I don't know what Gatorade is in retrograde right now, but technology is disagreeing and then agreeing with me. It's been very hot and cold, but you know what? if you can hear me and I can hear y'all, we're good.
Yeah,
so
we made it.
We're doing great.
Good to have you back, Ile.
Good to have you back.
To be back. It's good to be back.
And now, guys, we have not one, but two special guests. Let me introduce you to somebody you guys haven't seen in a while. My man, Mike, novice cinephile. Haven't seen you in a while, Mike. How you been?
Time, man. It feels like I haven't been here in forever. That's a little bit of sarcasm. Keep up with the streams. But I'm excited. We got a new Marvel movie out. Those are rare in 2024. And it's doing extremely well. Comic-Con, I'm with you. The FOMO is really setting in, being there last year, and it's like, oh, cool. So all the amazing stuff happens. We're not there. That's great. That's good to know. I'm taking no offense, Kevin Feige. I mean, you could have brought out Florence Pugh and Vanessa Kirby and Robert Downey Jr. when I was there last time, but all right, it's okay. It's okay. We're gonna talk about it. It's gonna be fun. But I'm still a little mad about that.
I know, right? I'm like, I got a little FOMO. If I could have just got a crumb of that stage presence, man, a crumb.
Crumbs. That's all we were asking for.
And we've got returning guest, good friend of the channel, senior writer at The Direct, writer at Agents of Fandom, my good friend Richard Nebens. What's going on, man? Welcome back. Thank you for joining us again, man.
What's up, guys? I am so glad to be here with Baby Pool in tow. I had to show off this little guy. I got this at the theater when I went to go see Deadpool Wolverine the other day. What a weekend. Holy crap. I mean, besides just Deadpool and Wolverine, which, I mean, this is the movie that I've been waiting for all year long, as anybody who knows me knows. What a weekend we have to talk about at San Diego Comic-Con. And I feel you about the FOMO because as somebody who has never been to San Diego Comic-Con before, I am going to do everything I possibly can to try to get there next year because I gotta be there for my first time. We had some people at the Direct there covering it, and they did a fantastic job. But next year, I have to get to San Diego Comic-Con. And one of these years, I'm going to get there.
You've got to grab the glove and say, I'm going to do it myself next time.
Fine.
Yes.
I'll do it myself.
Perfect. Man, you with those impressions. You know how to do those, man.
Yeah, somebody needs to pay me to do those someday because I do those for free, and I love it. And it's fun.
Yeah, start monetizing that.
I got to figure it out.
We are going to move into our first segment here. All right, we are talking all spoilers, so I apologize, chat. I really do apologize, but we are going to dive into spoilers for Deadpool and Wolverine. Before we do, though, I want to go quickly around the horn. We had a question to start off the stream. Good to see you, Zach Goller, who says, do we think Deadpool and Wolverine have the potential to crack $1 billion at the box office? Loved it so much. Richard, I'm going to ask you, man, what you think? $1 billion at the box office, is that guaranteed?
You know, I don't know if I could say it's guaranteed, but I would be more shocked if it didn't hit $1 billion than if it does. Because, I mean, like we're going to get into, this movie has done crazy numbers. It's been so well reviewed by critics, by fans. I know it. You guys know how much I love me some Deadpool. He's my favorite combo character. I mean, I do sit
I got the chair.
all the time. But no, this movie was damn near everything I could have asked for. And I can't wait to talk about it. I saw it again today, and I'm so pumped to talk about it.
Yeah, man. I think I'm with you. It's maybe not quite guaranteed, but like I feel like it'd have to fall off pretty hard to not at least get hovering around those numbers.
We'll get into this soon, but it did have the best opening weekend for any R-rated movie ever. So it's off to a great start.
Ever. Man, this is crazy. Mike, what you think, man? $1 billion for Deadpool?
The possibility is definitely there. I think it might land around the 800 mil range. It being R-rated definitely will always affect it a little bit. Like it's the biggest opening for an R-rated movie, which is great, but that you're still cutting down the audience size that you can get from this. I don't know. Also, the rewatchability. I know that it's very high because like people want to go and see all the cameos and all the fun stuff there and trying to catch those again. But I feel like you're going to need people watching it 3-4 times for it to hit that mark. And I don't know if it'll get there. It's got a good chance, though. Also, there's not much else playing after this movie, so like it could just dominate for the next 2 months, and I would not be surprised by it.
Yeah, I mean, box office predictions have been a little bit worried about Alien Romulus like coming out in this wave. So I wonder if that could potentially slow some momentum down, or if it could just get trampled by Deadpool and Wolverine. But Loretto, what you think, man? Really?
I think that's its biggest competition, Alien Romulus. So
Easy.
We'll see how it fares.
Yep. Ileana, what you thinking?
I think it's been a very long time since I've seen the theaters packed like this, Leo. I'm not gonna lie. I saw the theaters. I was at the mall yesterday, and in that theater was like I got into traffic trying to get into the parking lot because I just needed to go to Home Depot. So I think it's gonna hit a bill. I really do.
Yeah. I feel like it's like this opening like this. That's a sign that we are on the track.
When I see a pre-sale and then a pre-sale actually go really well here, to me, that's like renewing excitement for. I'm not even gonna just limit it to Marvel. I think it's just for a tentpole like summer blockbuster. I think there's just a lot of excitement around this, and a lot of positive reactions from a lot of fans that I've heard. So yeah, it would, like you guys said, it would really be just more surprising if it didn't hit $1 billion.
Yeah, I feel like it would be. That was a good comment there by G. Colby. It got an A cinema score. So it's going to keep having legs. The audience have spoken. They love Deadpool and Wolverine. And y'all, I feel like a lot of us loved it too. So let's get on into spoilers, chat. I'm warning. Spoilers. We're going to be talking Deadpool and Wolverine, guys. And I'm telling you, seriously, no holding back. You can go into as deep as spoilers as you want. We are talking cameos. We are talking everything we've seen in this movie so far. Guys, let's get started. Deadpool and Wolverine. Richard, you just saw it today. I think you might have the most recent viewing of us all. What you think, man? What did you think about Deadpool and Wolverine on that first screening, bro? How'd you feel?
Look, man, even considering my bias toward Deadpool, because Deadpool is my favorite character in all of comics. I love him so much. This, to me, I think even after a second rewatch, is my top MCU movie ever. I think it has like dethroned No Way Home, because it's been No Way Home since No Way Home came out, and that's been like a solid like number one that I wasn't sure if anything was going to top that. But if anything else, this is the most fun MCU movie ever, and it is unquestionably the funniest MCU movie ever. It might be the funniest movie I can remember seeing in theaters, if I'm being really honest. Like, there were I remember opening night, I think there were a good like 5 or 6 times where I was in tears laughing. Like you guys remember from the first Deadpool, when Deadpool is punching the hell out of Colossus and breaking his hands and everything, and he goes,
"Yeah,
first is Rex." That had tears laughing on that opening day. There were about 5 or 6 moments in this movie that either equaled or topped that. And like the only one I'm gonna mention right now, real quick before we get to everybody else, the opening sequence being set to "Bye Bye Bye" from NSYNC, pure genius. Like that's one of the greatest things I've ever seen. Like, yeah, and Joe's in down the chat, "Bye Bye Bye" intro, so hard. I mean, the dancing, the fighting, the bones with the credits on them. It was everything I could have asked for from a Deadpool opening. It was so good.
Yeah, man. I mean, that will live on in my head rent free forever. The fact that the choreography was perfect. Yes, the choreography was perfect. The song choice. And I never thought I would get to see a movie where Deadpool digs up Wolverine's skeleton and uses it as like a whip to beat the crap out of TVA agents. Amazing. I mean, I was laughing damn near nonstop in the first screening, and then the second screening, me and some friends went, and they were just like in tears at how funny that was and how good it was choreographed. I mean, I was like, dude, Deadpool up here full on dancing, man. Had a great time with that intro, and easily, I mean, in my opinion, best intro out of the 3 Deadpool movies for me.
Not even a question.
Yeah, like not even a question. But Lo, how did you feel, man? Deadpool and Wolverine, baby. We got Hugh Jackman back. How we feeling?
I had fun. I had fun. I'm not as over the moon as some of my companions, like you guys, but like I had fun, man. And I think that's the biggest thing, and I think that's what will give this film its legs. I think it is gonna hit a Billy. I didn't get a chance to really elaborate earlier, but I think it is gonna hit a Billy, and it's the movie of the summer. I think there's no getting around that. And I think the more people talk about it, the more word of mouth from this weekend kind of spreads. I think the more people are gonna go. So, but for me personally, I mean, as you see with the shirt, I'm a big X-Men fan. It was nice to see my boy Logan in his proper yellow and blue. It was so freaking cool to see that on screen. Hats off to I think Mike said it, or someone said it in the chat. Colby, hats off to the dancer, because Deadpool was hitting that shit. He was
Nick
like,
Hawley is his
I was
name.
like,
he is incredible.
He was hitting that, and also, as a big Succession fan, it was really cool to see Matthew McFadden get his little tiny bit of flowers. He wasn't like the most craziest villain, but I just love his humor, his sarcastic sassiness. Like, he really brought it to the big Mr. Paradox of the TVA. So that was pretty cool. And I don't want to get into all the cameos yet, but overall, I think I'm more or less satisfied, and I more or less got what I thought I was gonna get. I actually thought we were gonna get more, and it just kind of felt like, that's it. Okay, so I had fun with what it was, but I think maybe my expectations were too high, maybe. But
I totally could understand coming from the X-Men fan, because going in, I was kind of expecting more X-Men, but I was pretty satisfied with who we got. But I was like, maybe if we could have just got Scott and Storm, I would have just been like, okay, boom. Like
right, like some Halle Berry, maybe James Marsden, like that would have been kind of cool. But
that would have been pretty dope.
Kelsey Grammer Beast, maybe.
Yeah, man. I mean, hey, he was at the end of the Marvels.
Right.
One more time.
I love Kelsey
really
Grammer.
Cool. Yeah, man. Oh, but you talked about the Wolverine suit. Man, when he put that cowl on in that final battle, I was like, yes, we've been waiting since 2000 to see this.
Right.
And
he literally said in the beginning, that only took 20 effing years.
Yeah. And honestly, Richard, I kind of jumped out of my seat for that, because like the whole movie I was waiting. I was like, oh fuck, maybe he's not gonna wear it. And then when it came, I was like, let's fucking go.
Yeah,
man, I remember
it was coming, but we had to wait for it.
Yes, I remember when he was like reaching back like this, and I was like, wait, is that the cow? And he just slowly
he's doing it.
Like,
he's doing it.
Yes, Wolverine, baby. And as good as this looked, come on, they could have did that. They could have had them in the yellow suits. No excuses now. This looks
great. It
should not. What do they do? Wear yellow spandex? Come on now.
God,
love that
what
they
were
returned that jab
then?
in X-Men 97 as well.
Absolutely.
What do you expect? Black biker suits?
Black leather.
Fuck the black leather,
black
man.
leather?
Did not liking it.
No.
Ileana, what did you think? Deadpool and Wolverine.
I had a really, really I'm really super duper with low on this one. I expected a little bit more, but really cannot deny how much fun I had. I think it is just a very much going into it, we knew it was going to be a lot of fan service, and did it serve for sure. But I think there's just something about it that kept me from giving it that full 4 stars. And I think it's just the villain. I think it still suffers from kind of that weak villain trope that a lot of Marvel movies in the MCU tend to suffer from. And, I think that's what held it back from being like a really, really top tier MCU movie for me. But other than that, I love how much love was put into it. Like, you can tell that the people behind this movie actually read a comic book in their lifetime. And sure, we don't dive as deep as we could have, but wow, I was really, really, really astonished with how many references we got directly to the comics, especially with Logan, with Wolverine as a character. I think that was just a really, really fun exercise in what a comic book adaptation can look like live action. Like, it can be campy, it can still be cartoonish, but while still having like that integrity to it. So yeah, I think this is something that a lot of MCU movies moving forward could learn from and just kind of, take bits and pieces and give it its own tweak. And that's something that I really hope the next phase kind of learns from.
Speaking of details, look at the store in the photo. Like
Yeah.
Logan's standing in front of Lee Field. Just feet.
Yeah.
Amazing. That's been there since the first Wolverine trailer. That's been great.
So good. So
Gets
so
me every
good.
time.
Yeah, and also shout out Rob Liefeld. I know he's been kind of an up and down figure recently, but for what he did with Deadpool, and shout out to him too. He's actually one of the first like big people in this industry I ever met. I met him in the parking garage in the premiere for Eternals back in the day. Very nice guy, and I told him I was a big Deadpool fan, and we talked for a couple of minutes, and he was very, very nice to me. So
that's
thank
freaking
you,
awesome.
Rob Liefeld.
You just ran into him at an Eternal screening?
In the parking garage of all places, which was crazy. Yeah,
I like this comment by Colby. Emma Corrin she's not a bad actress, but there wasn't a lot to her character. So
yeah, I think she put in everything she could with that performance. I actually enjoyed
100%.
the work she did with it. She was hilarious at times and really super creepy. But I don't disagree that there wasn't a lot to her character.
I agree.
From a writing standpoint. But she did a great job with what she was given.
Yeah.
Also, to be fair, you guys, I don't think anyone's coming to this movie to see the villain. so they very much didn't really give her
but
much
a
to work
good
with.
villain nonetheless elevates your protagonist. Come on.
100%. And I feel
Yes.
I really did like Emma Corrin in this role. I thought she ate, to be honest with you, but there just wasn't a lot to her. And then when we finally got Cassandra Nova and we got to see more of her, she just kind of regresses to the typical Marvel villain. I'm going to destroy the whole universe.
Yeah. That's
Kind of
noticed
there was nothing more to her motives.
That's something I've noticed with like a few Marvel movies, like especially in like the multiverse saga, is they're really, really great for like the first 2/3 of the movie. Like how I feel about Mandarin and Shang-Chi. I loved what Tony Leung did with them, but the third act just kind of fell off just a touch. I mean, don't get me wrong, I loved what he did with it, and Mandarin was a really good villain, but it didn't hold up in the third act as much as it did in the first and second.
100%.
Totally fair. Yep. Mike, let us know, man. Deadpool and Wolverine. How we feeling?
This movie is fine. And I feel like all of the issues that you guys have already touched on with this movie, I feel those a lot more because I didn't laugh as much as I wanted to. I feel like I laughed more from the first two Deadpool movies. I don't know what it is with the humor in this one that just didn't click as much. Maybe I love Logan too much, so that opening scene didn't hit as hard as I wanted it to, as it needed to. I don't know.
You were upset.
Mike, I'm with you. I actually was hating this movie until like the second act. Like I was bummed. And then I was like, okay. And then I flipped it, second act hit, flipped the switch, we're good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I felt that a lot where it's like, I enjoyed what was happening, but I feel like I should have been enjoying it more, if that makes sense. I think tonally this movie is all over the place for me with Logan and Wade specifically. I feel like the humor of Deadpool and like the serious like angst of Wolverine just didn't mesh well enough for me for it to click. Because we're going through this really dark and like depressing story with Wolverine, and it's just like we're getting dick jokes from Deadpool every other second, and I'm like, okay, do you want me to be happy? Do you want me to feel sad? Do you want me to laugh? Like, what do you want me to do, movie? And it's pulling me in a lot of different directions. Hey, a little bit.
Yeah, but it's okay.
You were not vibing with NSYNC.
No.
Hey, the choreography, perfect.
Yeah.
It was just a skeleton, huh?
I honestly didn't care for it. I wasn't bothered by it, but I think what really just kind of got me like, and I was really, really excited. And then it started, I was like, oh, I feel like we're repeating the formula for like the first two Deadpool movies because we're doing the whole, you're probably wondering how I got here. And then the flashback shit. I was like, okay, I'm over it. Come on, guys. Let's try something. And then once it actually found its footing, I was like, okay. Once we get into like the Badlands, there I started vibing with it.
Yeah, once we meet
the
Johnny,
Void.
I'm like, okay, I dig it.
The Void, Ile.
Sorry, I got
The Badlands.
They call it both.
Technical.
They showed the Borderlands freaking trailer before the movie, and that was still here.
Wrong franchise.
Here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this movie is a fun time. I love that this is a fairly self-contained story. I kind of missed that. I'm glad it focuses on these two characters and their journeys. So yeah, overall, it's a fun time. I don't know if it's going to be one I revisit too often, but it's still really enjoyable. And like, again, the fan service is great. Like all the cameos were fantastic.
Good question from Zach here, guys.
Is this Hugh Jackman's best performance?
One of his, in my opinion, for sure. I
good.
would say still Logan is the top for me. I mean, Logan is just very hard to top. Hugh Jackman just put his all into that, and that final scene. I love that, like the TVA is like crying at the final scene because I'm like, it just takes me back every time.
When Paradox is saying the line with Logan in the video, oh my god!
I said the line too. That's why I'm like, oh, okay, they got me. They know.
That was
what
great.
They made you.
Yeah, I'd say this is up there with his best performances because this is something so different than what we've seen from like other versions of Logan, where Hugh Jackman gets to just go nuts. Like he gets to do everything that he couldn't do in a lot of the past movies. I mean, outside of Logan with the violence and the R-ratedness, obviously, but I just think Hugh Jackman was just having the time of his life, and some of the fight scenes between him and Deadpool, the two big fight scenes. I mean, firstly, I mean, set to the music that they were set to, just amazing. The car fight, and one thing I got to give this movie credit for. Some of the best action, I think, in the MCU, like in terms of like how it was shot, how it was choreographed and everything, because it wasn't like, because the MCU is known for like a lot of those choppy, cutty fight scenes and everything where it goes from like frame to frame to frame to frame to frame to frame. But we got a full on one shot like battle between Deadpool Wolverine and the Deadpool Corps at the very end, and I respect Sean Levy for trying that. And then the whole car fight was
homoerotic. That was literally the carriage scene in the Titanic, but their violent love language.
Right.
Love that.
But their love language
love that.
But they were effing.
Yes.
I mean, let's be real. The camera tilts down to the camera tilts down to coexist, and right before they're like on top of each other.
I see what you are.
Definitely. But how hard was? I mean, that had to have been difficult to make that look so good in that Honda Odyssey. Like, I mean, just great choreography.
The obstacle was the Odyssey.
I love how they just dumped on that car. It was like, fuck Honda Odyssey.
Do you think all the Honda Odyssey owners in the audience were just like clutching their pearls? Like, geez, what did we do, man?
They're all embarrassed, like
catching strays for no reason.
Catching them strays easily.
It's rough out here.
Well, let's talk about the cameos, y'all. I mean, we got quite a few. How did we feel about was anybody tricked by Chris Evans? Like, did you think that was Johnny Storm, or did you guys think that was Cap? Because when he showed up at first, I was like, this has got to be Cap from another universe, right? It's got to be Cap. But then as he started cussing, when he dropped the cuss word, I was like, that's got to be Johnny, right?
Yeah. I had a feeling if he was going to come back for this specific movie, I thought it was going to be Johnny, because I felt like the humor and the potty mouthedness of Johnny could work really well off of Deadpool. And I mean, it's not shocking. And especially too, because they played up the whole Cap thing earlier, because when Deadpool saw the montage in the TVA, and he's like, because in the comics, Deadpool respects Cap like he respects nobody else. And then when he turns out, it was such like, I don't want to call it like a bait and switch, but it kind of was, but it worked. Like when he finds out he's Human Torch instead. That worked so well for me, and it was very cool seeing Chris Evans play this kind of version of Johnny Storm, like all these years later, and with an R rating and everything.
To be honest, guys, I don't know if I was tired. I kind of like forgot about Johnny, so I was hella surprised when he was like flame on. I was like, oh shit, I forgot. Like I totally forgot. Like so I was on board, man. Like and then like guys, like music. When you see him with the hood, you hear like the drums, and it's like it's like, oh, Captain, and like I was totally on board with that shit. And then Flame on, I was like, okay, yeah. So that was cool.
Yeah,
so good. Eliana, did you think that was Cap, or were you like,
I thought it was a different Cap at the beginning. I thought it was like, oh, everyone's gonna think it's Chris Evans, but it's gonna be like a different Cap. like that. I thought that was gonna be the twist, but yeah, I'm sorry. I was not expecting Johnny Storm, and that was actually the moment where I was like, "Oh, wait, this is a good movie. Actually, let me get settled in my seat. I'm having a great time because you know
that's where Ely. That's where you leaned forward, like I got your attention.
Literally, I was like, "Okay,
Flame
I'm
on."
listening." He said, "Flame on." I screeched. I was like, "Okay, these people, they're onto something here. They're onto something. This is funny." And it was so funny because I went to a screening like the night before like it released. So I was in the room with like a lot of influencers that have never opened a comic book in their lives. I'm so sorry to assume, but a lot of references nobody got. So it was just a really weird like chorus of, you know, my laugh. Lo, you know my laugh. You can hear it was just me and like maybe two other guys in the theater in some very particular moments. And I think the Johnny Storm moment was one of them.
Oh, I could hear you. I could hear your laugh echoing through the hall. Like,
exactly. I was like just
laugh.
howling that and the tiny Wolverine, the tiny Logan reference.
Oh my god, yes.
Oh my god.
Comic accurate Logan.
Short King
Dolby
comic
Atmos
accurate.
got nothing on me.
Seriously, I think that was Ryan Reynolds, one of his best deliveries of like "Oh, come here, little guy." I was dying. That had me going.
So good. Cue the montage.
Exactly. So that shit, I was like, once you know, it started feeding me scenes like that and jokes like that. I was like, okay, I'm strapped in. Okay, I'm having a good time here, y'all. But yeah, I think that Johnny Storm cameo was really good. I definitely expected X-23, and not even expected. I hoped. I yearned for that.
You didn't see did you see the final trailer before?
No, I didn't.
Lucky you.
Lucky.
No, I didn't.
Lucky.
I was so lucky that I avoided the final trailer. I thought I saw it because they showed it before. What was the movie I saw? Twisters. So they showed a Deadpool trailer before, and I was like, ah, shit, this is it. I thought the spoiler was Cassandra Nova. But it was not. I was marked safe from X-23 spoilers. So yeah, I'm really happy that she was in the movie, and I think she was one of my favorite cameos. Definitely howled, and I had Leo in my heart when Wesley Snipes came out as Blade.
The Godfather
I jumped out of my seat on that too.
I
jumped out of my fucking chair. I was like, oh,
homie looked sharp. Homie looked sharp too.
Right.
So good. So
I just wish they got the sword right.
I had kind of been spoiled about all these in the rumor mill a little bit, but I kind of didn't believe it all. I was like, it sounds like hokey pokey. It sounds like y'all making this up. When I actually saw Wesley Snipes step through that door, holy smokes, me and shockingly enough, the critic screening like lit up, which that never happens. Even in one other lady that was like screaming with Andrew Garfield, but like this time when like Wesley Snipes walked through that door, like the whole audience was like, "Oh my god!" Yeah. It was the
only one I knew about that was at that Hollywood Reporter thing that said Jennifer Garner was going to be in it. So that didn't shock me like crazy, but especially considering the stories that we've heard about Ryan Reynolds and Wesley Snipes, I cannot believe Wesley Snipes is in this movie as Blade. Like, I mean, and one quick thing about him before I pass it off to someone else, that comment about like only ever gonna be one Blade. Like, I mean, I know that's probably like a joke or whatever, but considering all the stuff that's happening, like, yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Richard, you're gonna have a sniper rifle dot in a second here.
When he said it, I was like, what do you mean by that?
I don't even know if that was a it could have just been ad-libbed by him, honestly.
Calling the manager.
I know it's like, yo, did he just break character?
Right? Like,
what's funny is he tweets that like once a week. That's why I'm like, was this in the script or is this just how you feel, buddy?
Yeah,
he's like, no, I still don't like it, but thanks.
I'll take the check, but no, screw this other movie.
Right,
Mike, I'm gonna come to you, man. What'd you think about Gambit? Was Channing Tatum's dialect coach Tommy Wiseau or what?
That was one of my favorite bits in the entire
What was
movie.
your dialect, coach? The minions?
It was so good. Like I'm with you, Leo, where it's like I heard the rumors, but after Multiverse of Madness, I don't know what to believe anymore. After all the walk, like I'm still waiting for Mephisto to show up. Where is that gonna
Girl.
So no, like all the rumors and all that stuff, I just kind of ignored it. And then like, oh, so these were real. Okay. Channing Tatum coming back was great. We were in the Gambit Renaissance this year. I'm just happy that we got to see. I love how we just couldn't understand him half the time now. Like that was just a fun running joke.
That worked so perfectly, I think, for this movie. I think if he had actually like gotten a shot to be Gambit in an actual movie, I feel like he would have done, maybe something a little like not different with the accent, but made sure it's like understandable the whole time. But
I it up for sure.
because like he called it out so often. It's like it took me the second viewing to actually understand like half of what he was saying, but I didn't even mind it. Like just like good for Gambit for having, like you guys said, the Gambit sans this year. Like everybody loves him now. That was the one I think that freaked me out more than anything, getting Channing Tatum as Gambit. I mean, I was so beyond happy when he showed up.
I love the bit of him just being like, I think I've always been here. I don't know if I actually had a life outside of the board. And it's just like, yeah, because it's never happened.
I shot out my daddy. I shot out my daddy's dick ready.
When he kept going, I was like, oh my God, this dude.
Right.
Oh my God. But the fact that we got the names Gambit, Mon Ami, Remember It, and then we got this. I mean, this has definitely been Gambit's year.
The only thing that bums me out, we only got one share out of Channing Tatum and no Mon Ami. But
I don't think we got one Mon Ami. Nope.
No, we didn't get any of that. We only got one share. But other than that, I was so happy.
Look at this comment. Snipes coming back was a huge surprise. The Joker being the only Blade had me dying.
Wild as
Yo, I feel like that instilled the curse on the new Blade movie.
I mean, the movie's
already there, man. No,
it's been cursed for like 2 years.
But I feel like that was
just
just
AJ.
That
Good
was
to
just
see you,
a
man.
stamp of hell of like, boom. Okay, yeah, this is gonna keep fucking up. Like, oh man. But yeah, good to see you, AJ. Zach Goller called me out about Mephisto because I have been a Mephisto truther since WandaVision. There was a fly on a wall in episode 4 or 5, and I was like, "There's Mephisto right there."
Dude,
Man, when are we getting Mephisto?
I was with you.
I watched Loki again before Deadpool came out, and that one shot in the first episode of like the devil on the wall. I remember everyone was saying like that's Mephisto and everything. I mean, that was a wild time in 2021.
Absolutely wild. And it had us every week. We were like, okay, that's got to be Mephisto over there. Okay, is it Bonnie? Is it? Every week.
For like
but you know
4
what?
or 5
Maybe
Disney
one
Plus
day.
shows.
But the real Mephisto is the one we made along the way.
Just like
The fact that he
Guys,
shows
can
up in Ironheart, we think of all places, is what's getting me.
For like no reason. But guys,
Right?
can I be a little bit of a downer? Like a little bit?
Okay,
Oh,
go for it.
Boy.
One of us.
Same
One
face.
of us.
Hold on. Don't hear what I'm not saying. Let me say that. Don't hear what I'm not saying. But I have problems with the way this final battle was shot. And I feel like the only person that really got love in the way this was shot was Gambit. But it kind of fell into what Richard was saying earlier, where there was a lot of choppy cuts. I don't know if Jennifer Gardner and Wesley Snipes weren't in shape for this, and maybe they just had to cut a lot of the stuff. But like, I kind of didn't really see a lot of what was going on, minus a couple quips from Wesley Snipes. And I felt like the best action sequence was when Deadpool fought Wolverine, like way earlier in the movie. Like that was like the best choreographed one in my opinion. But I kind of felt disappointed with seeing them together, but not seeing the battle really. Like, I don't know, it just didn't elevate for me. So.
I think Laura got a couple moments to shine, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah, so that was my only gripe, but it was cool to see them. It's just the action in that was like kind of like
felt muddled.
Although I will say the part where he gets the cards and everybody, and then like that waits, and then it blows them up a second later, that was so beyond cool.
That was awesome. And like I said, I think they really let Channing Tatum as Gambit shine, which was cool. But God, give me a little bit more Blade. You know, give me a little bit of like. I guess maybe Jennifer Gardner wasn't ready to do all her gymnastics shit that she did way back when. But
yeah, it's been
all
20 years since she played that role. So
yeah, because she was remember in the Daredevil, and she even had her own movie, her own failed election movie, unfortunately. But
Yeah.
Also, it's just really funny the meta joke of like Elektra just not giving a crap about Daredevil.
Yep. She was like, "That's fine. I have."
Like, do you?
And
I just got a question for the room. I know not everybody saw the final trailer, but do you feel like it kind of hurt a little bit to put X-23 in there if you saw the final trailer? Because I felt like, okay, that was precedent to set for like, oh, we're going to get so many people. And we did get some good cameos, but I feel like that was like the big one. And I would have loved to have seen that in the theater.
I am a 99.9% yes on that. The only thing I'm going to say, and it's really not much, is that in the first trailer, the original first trailer that dropped at the Super Bowl, they had that moment where Logan said, "Trust me, kid, I'm no hero." And I remember everybody was kind of theorizing that I mean, it did end up being Lauren X-23 in the final movie, but they should have kept it at that. Like, just showing that would have been fine. And Marvel, I love the MCU to death. I probably always will. But that is one thing that always gets on my nerves every single time. They always show too much in the last trailer. They could have not shown X-23 at all, and it would have been more than okay. So I am very much with you on that.
Yeah, because you have that slow-mo shot of her coming through the hall, and like she's the last one of the group to be revealed, and I'm like,
if that's the first time you saw her, oh my God, it would have been crazy.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I didn't see the final trailer, but I just kind of expected her to be there, and my heart soared when she walked through. I think great. that's what you guys mean, right? I think for the audience, if that would have been a surprise, that would have been huge. So
yes, absolutely.
I think for this movie more than anything, obviously they did the marketing stuff outside of the trailers, which was awesome. And I love that all the out of movie stuff that they did, but they really didn't need to show a lot from the trailers and stuff.
Yeah, they did that with Multiverse of Madness too. There was like one TV spot where they just had all the cameos, and
where they did the Captain Carter thing.
Yeah, you're like, oh, there's Captain Carter, there's alternative Captain Marvel, Monica Rambeau. Oh my God, like they just showed everything. But I think that would have been a pleasant surprise. But Kevin Davis said Deadpool Wolverine be on Disney Plus by November. Give us that box office prediction. You be coming in with the good predictions. You think $1 billion, Kevin Davis? Let us know. All right, guys, let's share our final thoughts for Deadpool and Wolverine. How do we feel about it overall? You feel free to share some things you loved, you didn't love, but just give us an overall final thoughts on Deadpool and Wolverine, starting with you, Mike.
Yeah, Deadpool Wolverine, fun movie. Like we were saying throughout this entire conversation, I feel like it really hits the ground running when we introduce these other characters. And this entire film feels like a riff on Days of Future Past. So I kind of wish the whole premise was Deadpool teams up with a different version of Logan, and then them and this other team of like the new X-Force go on an adventure, because I wanted a lot more of these extended cameos that we got. And I think Deadpool plays a lot better off of multiple people as opposed to just being him and Logan through the majority of the film. Outside of that, though, really fun. I'm glad everybody's loving it. I love Ryan Reynolds in this role. I love Hugh Jackman like coming back and finally having a lot of fun with this. And it's just like he played so many different versions of Wolverine, got to wear so many different suits, so many comic homages that he just never could do in the Foxverse. So I thought it was a great way to kind of give him that. I just want to know, is he going to do this until he's 90? Because that felt like a joke, but after what we did to Robert Downey yesterday, I'm not sure it was a joke anymore.
No, I trust nobody.
I've got a quick theory about that. I think they are the new Stanley. I think you're going to see them kind of popping up in cameos in these different movies, and it's like, oh, hey, there's Deadpool.
I've thought that about Deadpool for sure. I think Deadpool could totally take the place of like a Stanley kind of position, like just jump around all over the MCU, cameoing everywhere. I think that would be really fun. I don't know about Logan, but I could totally see it for Deadpool.
Absolutely. We got that prediction, 1 to 1.3 billion. Man, if it makes 1.3,
I was thinking about 1 to 1.1 to 1.2 or so. So,
what'd you have, Mike?
I just want the entire internet to apologize to She-Hulk. Y'all think this is funny, but She-Hulk wasn't funny. Get out of here. That's it. I'm done.
You tell him.
He can dance to Bye Bye Bye, but She-Hulk can't twerk. Make it make sense, people.
You know what? Preach, bruh. Preach.
Yeah. Preach.
People just don't like funny women. Okay.
Exactly. They were just hating on She-Hulk as the character, and it's not fair.
She did a lot of the same things that Deadpool did, both breaking the fourth wall and everything. And everybody loves Deadpool, and for some reason, everybody hates She-Hulk. Like, even for a guy that Deadpool is my favorite character ever. I enjoyed She-Hulk.
Can I say something real quick?
I didn't get to chat about much.
I didn't recognize him. I didn't know what the hell happened until after the screening. And so, like, somebody asked me, like, "Oh, did you see this?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And they had to explain to me what the cameo was because I didn't recognize him.
You didn't hear the line? He even references it.
Yeah, the cavalry.
Okay, I think I wasn't paying attention. Okay, whatever. I gotta watch it again.
Yo, I will say this though: when I seen that Wolverine, I was like, "That is not Hugh Jackman's back." Like I knew for a fact.
All right, Leo.
Like, oh, well, I'm just saying. I was like, I know that ain't Hugh. Like, no way.
Yeah,
I love that entire bit because he's like, "Hey, we treated you better than the folks down the street." He's just like, "Oh,
yeah, okay."
We will treat you
I
so
remember
much
the
better
line.
than the shitbags down the street.
God, I must have spaced out. I just didn't catch that.
So
And
good.
it's not a blink and you miss it scene
And
either.
anybody notice that he pulled the Mission Impossible 6 move to get his claws out? That just like
I gotta watch it again.
So good. Boom, boom. I'm like, let's go.
And that's why A Billion's on the table. We got to rewatch it to catch all of that.
Exactly. No, and I was gonna mention that cameo if nobody else did, because that is like probably easily one of my top 3 cameos of the whole movie. And I was like, it took me until the second shot of him to realize it was Cavill. Like when he turned around his full face, I'm like, holy crap, that's Henry Cavill. Because I didn't hear the Cavill lead line.
Was I tweeting? Because I know I was tweeting during the movie. Maybe I just.
Whoa! Out here live.
What the heck, man?
Okay, Scoops. Down there live tweeting and stuff. Like, sir.
Get this man out. Opening weekend, you're tweeting during the movie?
Nicole Kidman, I failed you. I'm sorry.
Wow.
This place is no longer magical.
Influencers, Lo. Leave that shit to the influencers.
Heartbreak does feel bad in a place like this.
Yeah.
All right. Ileana, give us your final thoughts on Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah, I'm with Mike. I'm with Lo. Really fun movie. Definitely could have reached a higher potential, but that's kind of the truth for a lot of Marvel movies as of late. But not to be a Debbie Downer, I again really love what all the passion that went into this project. Was it the most complex and cinematic visual execution? No. But in terms of the content, like the actual substance of it all, it is definitely just a little kid's paradise. Like these are scenes that we just dreamed about growing up, seeing live action. So I really appreciate it for the function that it serves. Do we need more movies like this to serve this kind of function? I don't necessarily agree with that, but I think one and done, this was a great time.
Yeah, just super entertaining. Like, what was so nice about this one is it was just like a load of fun. Like, honestly,
exactly.
I've fun with most Marvel movies, but this one just was another level. I was laughing the whole time. I was enjoying the action scenes. I do agree with you, Lo. I feel like when the cameos got together at first, it was like very cluttered, very choppy. I think it found some rhythm after a while. Like Blade got to kill Toad and we got to see Gambit like explode these guys. So it was like it found some rhythm, but that was maybe the stickiest action sequence. But I did love that one shot of the variants. And the Deadpool core, super freaking cool. Getting to see Lady Pool, Kid Pool, Baby Pool, all these different Deadpools. That all was played by Ryan Reynolds' family too. Yes, I love getting to see all that gore. And the best thing about these two characters and putting them together, the sky's the limit in terms of the gore, in terms of what you can do. And they just went for it, man. This was bloody. It was over the top. It felt like watching an actual comic book. And You said it earlier, Ileana, I feel like we can take some notes and apply this to the remainder of the MCU and from what I'm hearing from Fantastic Four, it sounds like, yeah, they're really going for more comic booky, more like individual feeling films. And I'm here for it, man. I can't wait for the Fantastic Four next. But Lo, let us know, man. Final thoughts on Deadpool and Wolverine.
Little shameless promo. You can read my spoiler review at thecinemasspot.com. I just pumped that out. That's my latest review. Please check that out. And just to kind of summarize what I said in it, it is what it is. And I think whether you're a Marvel fan or not, I think anybody can just watch this and have a good time. And you just have to know what you're getting into. It's a multiverse superhero film with a bunch of cameos and violence and cursing. And if you're not into that, it's probably not for you. But if you're going to enjoy that, then you will. So I think that's kind of what it comes down to. And really quickly, shouts out to Ryan Reynolds doing the bit where he was holding Sabretooth's head and he's like, oh, this is the head of Furiosa, because I was getting Mad Max vibes the whole time. So
that was funny too.
That was great.
I mean, Furiosa catching a stray was not on my bingo card, so that made me laugh.
Yeah, that was great. And not to mention the Void looks a lot like the Wasteland and Mad Max. So I was like, okay,
exactly.
I mean, shit, I called it the Badlands at first.
No, and then actually, wait, didn't Sabretooth have like a reined vehicle? It almost reminded me of like Chris Hemsworth with the 4 motorcycles. Like
absolutely.
It was almost the same vehicle.
Oh, I think that was I think that was on purpose. Like I definitely
right.
There's no way they didn't think about it.
It's like, oh, that comes out a couple of months before ours. Let's just play on it. Why not?
Right. And that's so Deadpool. So that was cool.
Totally Deadpool.
Oh, man. Good comment here. Don't forget Human Torch couldn't keep his mouth shut. I will admit, that was awesome when he got his skin just snatched off of his body. That was really freaking cool.
I love the post-credit scene where it's like, we're going to roll the tape back.
Yes.
And then he shows him say word for word all of that. And I'm still sitting there like, yeah, but you still didn't have to tattle on him, dude. And then he's like, you can quote me on it. I'm like, well, he said he could quote him on it. He did it to himself.
Yeah, he did it to himself. By the way, that was great delivery by Chris Evans. It was like no stumble, no stutter. I was like, holy shit, this man is going in. But Richard, man, let us know your final thoughts for Deadpool and Wolverine.
It's some of the most fun I've had in a theater in a really long time. Like, I understand why people are so varied on like how much they love this movie. But I cannot remember a time where I've had more fun at a theater. I love Deadpool as a character. I think they did about as much Deadpoolian things as they could have possibly done in this movie. Ryan Reynolds knows this character like nobody else. There was so much to love about this movie, even with some of the things that I don't think maybe landed quite as well. But I cannot remember a time where I've had more fun at a movie before. And that's my thing with me is I enjoy going to the movies to have a fun time. I know there are movies where, you want to get deep and you want to get, insightful and all that stuff. But I know what I'm getting with Deadpool, and I know I'm in for 2 hours of a hell of a good time. So I can't wait to see this one again. And I can't wait to see how Deadpool is like ingratiated into the rest of the MCU. Even if it's PG-13, I'm sure he's going to have plenty of fun with it. We're in for a good ride with Deadpool in the MCU.
I also feel like this movie, so Kevin Feige definitely this is a quote directly from him saying, if the implications of Endgame and Infinity War were 10 and 9 in terms of changing the Marvel universe, this is an 8. When they put those universes together, I was like, that implies a lot of stuff in terms of how the mutants got here, how that's going to happen, how these crossovers are going to happen in Secret Wars. Like they really just took that one little montage, and that's going to have a huge effect on the rest of the MCU going forward. But yeah, I had a blast with this movie. It was so much fun. I think my biggest gripe was that there just wasn't enough Cassandra Nova. I think we could have fleshed out that villain a lot more, and her connection to Professor X made me really want to see a Professor X. So I was like, if we could have got maybe Professor X or Storm or Scott or all three.
Really strange that we give him a sister and then he just never shows up.
I thought maybe
James McAvoy.
I get that.
Hello.
What's that?
It generally easily to me could have been a James McAvoy like Professor X. Like we could have had that dynamic for sure. And 100%. I think that would have added that layer of depth that was really, really lacking in that aspect.
Yeah, because we already had Patrick Stewart in Multiverse of Madness. I'm like, bring back McAvoy here and just like That's her Professor X brother. That would have been great. But all along, I mean, I think this was a lot of fun. It's in my top 8 MCU now. I had so much fun with this one, guys. I cannot wait to watch it over and over and over.
One last thing I want to mention too: the credits montage of all the old Fox stuff that got to me so hard. It was so emotional and fun and incredible seeing all those behind the scenes videos. Like more than anything, this was a tribute and a love letter to that era of Fox Marvel movies. Like there were some good, there were some really bad, but they put out a lot of movies and gave fans a really good time for better part of 20 years. So that was a really, really nice tribute in the beginning of the credits with all that footage. So I really respected that.
Yeah, and I loved it to Good Riddance by Green Day. So good.
Anything set to that song was going to be pretty good.
I feel like that was my only thing. Is I feel like I wish more of that love was in the film. Like it was cool to see the credits montage, but I wish there was a little bit more of that that reverence in the movie. But
fair enough.
100%.
That's fair. That's very fair. All right, y'all. Let's move into the main meat and potatoes of the show. We're getting into them. All right, San Diego Comic-Con 2024, y'all. Very, very, very fun. We got Hall H, another splash from Kevin Feige himself. Oh, by the way, had to go ahead and switch the hats here. Had to switch the hats for the Hall H. Nice. This was Hall H 2022 here. We've got Hall H 2024 to chat about. And guys, we got 4 big focuses for this panel. Captain America 4, Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four, and then that huge reveal at the end of not only the Russo brothers coming back, not only renaming Avengers 5 to Doomsday, but we got Robert Downey freaking Jr. playing Dr. Doom, which has already been very polarizing. I was originally going to kind of summarize all of them, but we'll just kind of go around and talk about each, just kind of give our thoughts on each movie that's coming up, and I can give you guys a little spiel about what each panel had in store. So Captain America 4, we got to see the cast come on stage. We got to see Harrison Ford talk about Red Hulk. They showed an image of him as Red Hulk, and we're hearing it's really, really cool. Haven't seen the actual image, but heard it was great. They showed some footage of the actual film. Can I tell you guys something, though? They also brought Giancarlo up to introduce his character as well. Can I tell y'all something, though? With all these reveals and with Tiamat, this movie feels so stuffed. Like, I love the idea of kind of the Red Hulk and Captain America stuff and Harrison Ford saying you're not like Steve Rogers. I like that. I really like playing off of those themes. But then when we get to Tiamat Island and Adamantium and Serpent Society and all this stuff, it just feels like a very crammed film that some of that maybe could have actually took place in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. But we did end up getting a nice splash from Captain America 4. I just want to kind of go around the horn and ask you guys' thoughts. How much are you guys anticipating Captain America 4? Because the trailer looked great. Sounded like Red Hulk looked even better at the Comic-Con panel. How are we feeling about Captain America 4, Lo?
I'm excited. I'm hopeful. I didn't realize that's supposed to be Tiamat Island. Is that where they're at? Or
yeah, so they confirmed that Tiamat will be in the film. Adamantium will be addressed in the film, and then
they finally addressed it.
Finally,
everybody can shut up about
it. Finally, we're not even gonna get Eternals.
But so, we've talked about this a couple weeks ago when the trailer premiered, and I'm on board. As nervous as I am about, there's Isaiah Bradley, there's Giancarlo. I don't know, is Val playing in this at all, or is she not present?
No. She'll be in Thunderbolts.
Okay, so she's not in the cast, right? So yeah, it does seem like there's a lot going on, but I'm also hopeful that they're gonna figure it out. Because to be fair, Civil War is like top 3 MCU for me, and there's a lot going on in that, and I don't think it's as overstuffed as that was on paper. So I'm rooting for Anthony Mackie. The trailer had me sold, and I think Harrison Ford, he's in fine form. I didn't think he could pull this off and be on board, but it looks like he's committed to the project. So I'm down.
Captain freaking America, man. I'm not even gonna no Falcon American. I'm like, this is our Cap, y'all. We got a new Cap, and I'm excited. Mike, how we feeling about Cap 4?
I'm in between you and Lo. Like, I think there's a lot going on with this movie. Especially, like, we have a comment here saying that this movie's supposed to be grounded like Winter Soldier. And it's like, okay, we fighting the leader in the Hulk. Okay, sure, I guess. But, like,
damn.
I don't know. Again, like, just going off of the information that they're saying, and maybe it comes together in the script, but, like, Tiamat's back, which we have to address the hand coming out of the ocean, right? Like, I feel like you have to at least reference that plot point. And
right,
introducing adamantium, I wonder how that plays into all of this. Like, this is gonna be the first time we get that, and how that leads into whatever's gonna happen with the mutants. It feels like it's a lot of setup for other things, while also rehashing some plot points from Falcon and the Winter Soldier, like the whole "you're not Steve Rogers" type of angle, which we already did. Also, Harrison Ford is playing Ross, who last time he met Steve Rogers, like, probably hated that man with the whole Civil War and the Accords and the thing.
Yep.
So shouldn't you want a guy who's not Steve Rogers? I don't know. It's all kind of weird and muddled to me.
I'm just pretty sure he doesn't like any of them.
Probably.
Right.
Like, if you're an Avenger, Ross hates you.
Speaking of Harrison Ford and Red Hulk, I just wanted to share this picture of him hulking out real quick. Like, this just looks so crazy.
He loves anything that's not Han Solo, man, and I love that for
I
him.
love that.
For real.
That's great.
Ileana, how you feeling about Cat 4?
I'm with Mike. Like, it seems like on paper, it's a lot going on. Like, remember when we were talking to a couple weeks ago, like, we had this whole thing where I was like, I really enjoy the Winter Soldier, and I would really love if we kind of went back to that. Captain, I'm scared. I'm a little concerned that all these things are gonna. I just really hope that nothing overshadows our Cap's spotlight. You feel me? I think that's just really like my main concern at the end of the day with this.
Yeah, we need Captain America to be Cap, but there are some really good shots in that trailer. I mean, of him using the shield and the wings spread around the cherry blossoms. I was like, this is great. So I'm really excited to see more of that. Richard, how you feeling about Cap 4?
It's funny. I don't actually disagree with a lot of what you guys have said. I am slightly nervous. Obviously, like we've said, this is a very, very full movie. I do love that we're finally getting some Hulk stuff. You know, it took us 16 years to get here, but we're finally here. We got the leader, and we got Red Hulk. You know, Betty Ross is supposed to be coming back. So I'm excited for that. It was actually really funny too. I just had some of the Winter Soldier on earlier today on TV. I was watching a little bit of that before we went on. Even if they can get some vibes of like what we saw in the Winter Soldier, because I think like Winter Soldier isn't like my top favorite MCU movie, but I do respect it's probably objectively the best thing that Marvel's ever done. It's still easy one of my top 5 or 6. If they can even get close to what they did in Winter Soldier with this movie, I think we're all gonna be really happy. But I'm definitely nervous, especially with all the reshoots and all that. I'd like to see like that extra level of reshoots that we've been hearing about for the last few months. But I am so excited for Anthony Mackie to finally get his own solo movie as Cap. I'm with you guys. He needs to be able to get the spotlight as Cap, because I think he's going to do a great job, and Anthony Mackie has proven to do an incredible job with this role over the last 10 years. But I am very excited, and yes, Joseph and Steve would be very happy with Sam. I think there's a lot of good to like about him. Yeah, I'd say on a hype level, I'm about like a 7-8-ish right now. And that's no shade to it whatsoever. I cannot wait to see this one. I'll probably be on, I think I'm gonna be on vacation when it comes out, which is gonna be great, but that should be fun, hopefully with a bunch of Marvel fans. But I'm very excited to have this one come out and for it to finally get here, because this has been talked about for a while.
Yeah, I'm excited to see all the Hulk stuff too, because man, I don't know. I didn't love the Incredible Hulk, so I'm like, yes, about damn time we got some more Hulk. Back in the MCU, would love a Hulk film. So Marvel, if there's any way we can get that back going, I'd love another Hulk film.
Makes
but
this a little
this
weird, though, right? Because we're getting Red Hulk, we're getting the leader, we're getting Betty back, and is Bruce in this movie? Because I feel like he should.
There's only ever gonna be one Hulk.
That's funny.
I will say from this panel, Giancarlo walking on stage. I don't know if you heard some of what he was saying up there. He's like, he's been fan cast for years, and he and Marvel finally got to work something out. And I'm like, cool. So you guys are aware of the fan cast, and you went with leader of the Serpent Society. Got it.
Professor X was right there. Just saying.
Yeah.
I get it. I am excited to see the Serpent Society in play, but I do get that, for Giancarlo. But hey, good for him for joining another major franchise. So he deserves it.
To answer this question from the Watcher, we're going to be talking about one of those films very shortly, but that's top of my list for most anticipated comic book movies. But we'll get to it in just a second.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's a great question. Yeah, we'll get right back around to that. Let's head on to the next slide, Lo. We are talking a little bit of Thunderbolts. Now, this one, pretty funny. David Harbour sent out an email for the whole cast to come in their costumes, and he was the only one that showed up in the costume.
I love
so
that
it sounds
guy.
like the rest of the cast didn't get the memo, but we saw them all take the stage together. There was some footage shown as well. Thunderbolts, they also confirmed, it was already confirmed, but they just reconfirmed Pullman being Sentry. We also saw a little bit of footage, and they really praised Yelena as like carrying this movie, like praising Florence Pugh and her acting in the film. This movie, I want to see a trailer so bad. I really want to see that trailer. I'm like right between like being pretty hyped for it and maybe a little flatlining, just because that team lineup, y'all. Like from the concept art we got in 2022, I was just like, man, it's all super.
This concept art?
We have gotten Red Hulk. Yeah, that art right there. I'm like, could we have just gotten a Red Hulk Abomination, somebody? But hey, if they make it work, they make it work. And I will admit, I'm not a huge fan of the Val character so far. Really want to see her in a better light in this, because I love Julia Louis-Dreyfus, but I don't know.
She hasn't
the
done
2 or 3
anything.
times. The 2 or 3 times she's
outside
been
of Black
in the
Panther,
MCU,
she really hasn't done a lot at all.
Yeah, and she was in the very end of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and then she was also in the very end of Black Widow, and it just kind of fell flat for me. So hopefully this is the movie to elevate that character. But scale of 1 to 10, how we feeling about Thunderbolts, Ileana?
I am timid, perhaps. I think I think ever since it got announced, ever since we got the concept art, it hasn't really made an impact on me and my psyche since then. It's not something that's like been at the forefront of what I'm anticipating in terms of future Marvel projects, but I really, really love Florence Pugh as Yelena, and I think she was one of the saving graces of Black Widow for me. And if what is being said is true, that she's really shining as this character and carrying as this character in this project, I'm all for it, honestly, because I think she kind of is that really emotionally layered Black Widow that we didn't really get to see as much with Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow. And I think that's not ScarJo's fault. I think that's just more of how her character was introduced and how it was handled for so many years in the MCU. So this feels more like a bit of a Black Widow renaissance, if you will.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing more of Florence Pugh's character for sure. Look forward to seeing more of Bucky. Beyond that, I'm kind of like,
they're just kind of there.
Oh, I also like Red Guardian. I really like David Harbour. I think he's pretty funny, but the rest, I'm like John Walker. Ghost.
We've talked about this. Is Ghost still in the lineup?
Yep,
Ghost
she was
still in the
panel.
Sweet Jesus.
Interesting. Yep. No, look, no offense to the actress, but not my favorite villain. But
1 to 10, Lo, how you feeling?
Look, guys, I mean, I'm not a simp or anything, but I am here for Florence, guys, and just because of Florence, it's a solid 7. And yeah, I like David Harbour too, but seriously, I'm here for Florence. And to hear all these reports that she's carrying, I would have expected nothing less, especially from this project. So I'm fully expecting her to be the star that she is. And what's his name? What's the guy that plays Agent? I forgot his freaking name.
U.S. Agent Wyatt Russell.
Yeah, Wyatt Russell. Sorry, God. Kurt Russell's
US
son, right?
Agent.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kurt Russell's son. Yep.
So you know, I mean, he was fine, and I think he's an okay actor. But you know what I mean? I'm not coming out to the theater to see Wyatt Russell. No offense, Wyatt Russell, but
nobody is.
you know what I'm saying? So that's how I feel about the project. But
Mike, how you feeling? 1 to 10?
Yeah, we talked about this last night, and I said I was a -2. But
That's
after,
right.
oh shit!
But
Yeah,
after seeing Florence Pugh last night, I went back up to like a good 5. You know, she tilts the field a lot. She's the star.
The
receiver
power
on
of Florence.
Seriously,
Florence
because
I mean,
looking at,
of this lineup, Academy Award nominees, how many you see?
there it is.
yeah, this lineup alone is part of my problem. Like, it feels like we want to go for like a Task Force X type of vibe, but we don't have the colorful cast of characters. We have like 4 super soldiers and Black Widow. It's kind of what we're doing here, and you know, maybe it comes together. I'm willing to give it a chance. That's why I'm with Leo that like we really need a trailer. But as if you just showed me this lineup like in this image and on paper, I'm just gonna be like, I don't care about 90% of it.
Yeah, I'm 100% with that. Watcher says 0 interest in the film, except for Sentry, who we haven't really seen. If this was a comic accurate Thunderbolts with Elektra and Deadpool, and Red Hulk and Punisher and Deadpool, 2 Deadpools, I would care more. Yeah, I mean, seriously, the lineup, I think the biggest problem with this concept art is the lineup. Like, the team just doesn't feel like a balanced amount of power sets. It just doesn't feel like a colorful cast of characters.
Sir, we both know she's going to be in there for 30 seconds.
What's the deal with the Thunderbolts asterisks?
Yeah, what's going on with that?
Yeah, what is with the asterisks?
Looked like the Walmart logo on Kevin Feige's hat. So what's going on with that, man? I'm like, what's happening, bro? Man. Richard, let us know, man. 1 to 10, where you sitting at this Thunderbolts?
I'm mostly with you guys. I think about a 7, maybe an 8. Florence Pugh, I think, is going to destroy.
Uh-oh. Look like a
Did he kick his mic?
Said no.
We lost his audio.
Censored.
Oh,
He's
no.
being censored. Kevin Feige, show your face.
Feige's like, y'all saying too much.
I know. Y'all see the dot on his forehead? Oh, he's being watched.
Oh, shit.
Uh-oh.
He's got that Walmart logo on. There you go.
Anyways, yeah, so I'm about a solid 7, 8. Florence Pugh is probably one of my 2 or 3 favorite new characters in the multiverse saga. Like, her and Kamala Khan are right there for me. I think she does such a good job with this role. She's so entertaining. She's absolutely hilarious. I mean, the stuff that she got with Kate Bishop in Hawkeye, give me a Disney Plus series of 6 episodes of Florence Pugh and Haley Steinfeld just sitting in a room arguing with each other. I can watch that all day.
Yes.
But no, I'm definitely curious. I'm cautiously optimistic about this one. I think Florence is going to be fantastic. The rest of the team I'm definitely interested in. I love David Harbour as Red Guardian. Bucky's going to be great. He's been around forever. I'm really interested to see Lewis Pullman as Sentry. I mean, I loved him obviously in Top Gun. I mean, Top Gun's my favorite movie ever. And he was solid in that. I'm really curious to see what he does with Sentry. Hopefully, like you guys are saying, hopefully they give Joy Louis-Dreyfus something to do, because I think if they actually give her something to work with, I think she could do a good job with this role and make it kind of interesting. But, fingers crossed. I really want this one to be good. I mean, Suicide Squad is one of those fun movies that people, like to talk about from DC, and this is obviously the movie that compares most to something like a Suicide Squad. So hopefully they can at least, get it to that bar, maybe raise it a little bit with these characters. But I'm with you guys. I definitely want to see a trailer. Hopefully once the footage comes out, I'll raise up my hype level a little bit.
Yeah,
absolutely. Bishop, this is not cutlery.
This is not cutlery, Kate Bishop. This is not cutlery.
I'm of the mindset that I think Hawkeye season 2, if they roll with that, should be Kate and Yelena. We don't even need Clint, man.
I wouldn't be mad at that.
Just kind of be
Exactly.
a
Black Widow and Hawkeye, and just be done with it. Let's go.
Let's go. Give us that duo we wanted with the new versions of the characters. I'm so here.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad at that.
Yeah, man. I would be down. Now let's talk about the next one, man. This movie, the Fantastic Four, man. We got a
you
new
heard
title.
my prayers.
So good. I mean, this is already sounding great. Set in a retro futuristic 1960s Jetsons like alternate universe. We got a new title. We got the cast on stage with footage that was shown that just sounded like it looked incredible. It just everything that comes from this sounds amazing. We had our Reed and Sue on stage holding hands the whole time, and the fantastic car flying through the Hall H Hall. So cool, so amazing. After hearing about the footage of this movie, this is officially my most anticipated movie of 2025. I love the Fantastic Four. Went through a lot of Fantastic Four comics. I actually own a lot of those comics and love these characters. Love the first family. I'm of the mind that sure, the two early Fox ones are fun for what they are. They're not necessarily great. And I felt that way seeing the Silver Surfer one the first time. I especially didn't love that one, but Fantastic Four 2015, just wash it away. We could just have this one and the two Fox ones. We can wash away that 2015 Fan Four stick. Not great. But man, scale of 1 to 10, guys, I'm at a 100 for this one. I cannot wait for this. The cast seems to have already just a very electric chemistry. I mean, there's been clips with Pedro Pascal and Vanessa Kirby like flirting, and I mean, Pedro being choked up by some of the things she's saying about Pedro. Like, y'all, I'm like, listen,
been here before.
The chemistry is there, okay? I'm loving it. It's cooking.
Ile, it's got that spicy bacon.
It's got that bacon.
Just to quote our catchphrase.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's the one thing that I take with me from the film The Fall Guy. Sexy bacon. I'll take that with me for the rest of my life.
All right, Richard, let's kick it off with you, man. 1 to 10, how we feeling about Fantastic Four First Steps, the new official title?
Definitely an interesting first title, giving you a very like moon landing 60s outer space kind of vibe. I am at least a 9, if not a 10. It's probably closer to a 10 if I'm being really honest. Like, I mean, I love the cast. I've been very curious about the cast, like ever since it got announced, because I don't know a ton about Joseph Quinn. I've done like 4 episodes of The Bear, and I know Evan Moss Backrack is fantastic. I mean, like as a former restaurant owner, watching The Bear is like going through a personal trauma hell. So that's going to take me a long time to get through. But I do love me some Evan Moss Backrack. Love me that we're getting a Jewish Ben Grimm. You know, shout out to that. I think more than anything, I cannot wait to see Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm. I think she's going to easily be the best Sue Storm we've ever gotten. I love her in the Mission Impossible movies. And her whole thing with her and Pedro Pascal is getting spicy real fast. And I'm all here for it. The Fantastic Car looks awesome. I think seeing them together on the stage and seeing how well they're like getting along and the chemistry they're building, all 4 of them, I think that's selling me more than anything on this movie. And I got a shout out to Matt Shakman, the director, who did a fantastic job with WandaVision.
Yes.
He knows how to do stuff like this in different eras. I think there's nobody that I would have picked that I think would have been better to do this movie than Matt Shakman. Even as excited as I was for John Watts, I think Matt Shakman's going to take this thing over the top. Easily one of my most anticipated movies next year. I love the original couple of Fantastic Four movies. I mean, the first one obviously more than the second one. I've only sat through 20 minutes or so of the Fan Four stick. I gotta find time to sit through all of that at some point. Maybe.
Richard, I don't know.
You don't have to do it.
I'm letting you know
Prepare
now.
yourself.
I don't know.
Because it's my job, but last note, I do think we are getting peak Fantastic Four next year with this movie. I think this is going to blow everything else out of the water. I cannot wait to see what they do with this movie. And from that little bit of test footage that, some of us saw and, might have possibly potentially Ryan Reynolds did stuff onto the universe, count me all the way in.
All the way in, bro. I'm all the way in. Yeah. Might have watched some of the test footage. Really liked how this looked. Fantastic Four.
Wink, wink.
Wink, wink. But yeah, cannot wait for this movie. Ileana, let us know how you feeling about this
The sexy
spicy chemistry.
Spicy. It's crispy. I was a little bit hesitant with this cast announcement originally because I don't know. I think it was. I love these actors individually in their own projects, but it was just such a weird like. I couldn't imagine them as these characters. Like initially, truly, because it was just so off-putting to me. But seeing their chemistry, seeing the little bits and bobs that have been kind of floated around on Twitter, wow, it gives me a lot of hope. It really seems, and I think we've been talking about this since this was announced. It feels like it's everything that we keep asking for of the MCU right now. Like, in every time we talk about Marvel movie, we just want this, we want this, want that. This feels like it's going to deliver on that. And I'm really, really, really hopeful. So, yeah, I just love when we just do something different. We do something new, but still passionate and faithful to that comic book camp,
100%. This is a very interesting comment from the Watcher. The title I don't care for unless it's a reference to a certain baby Franklin, maybe. Get it first steps, baby steps. But that's just a theory, a film theory. That's a good theory, though. I mean, rumor had it that Franklin was going to have some kind of involvement in this movie. So maybe it is a reference bringing that in.
And I said this before we went live. Coming from Richard Franklin Nebens, count me all the way on Franklin Richards.
Nice.
If anybody needs a live action Franklin Richards, you know where to find me.
Amazing. All right, y'all. Illy, did you give us a 1 to 10?
Definitely a 10. Honestly, I'm hyped. And it's next year. And again, genuinely the MCU project I'm looking most forward to.
Absolutely. Mike, how we feeling, man? 1 to 10?
11 on 1 to 10 scale. This movie has aura, as the kids would say. And I feel like being a DC fan, I'm just going to put it out there. One thing that I love about DC more than Marvel, Stanley always pitched Marvel as the world outside your window, right? And as cool as that is, I kind of want to have different experiences or go to different worlds. And so the idea that we're going to a different universe, we're going to the 60s, and it is this like Jetson style, like super futuristic type of
super Jetsons vibes.
Yeah, like that makes me excited. It's like I want to go see something new and different from the Marvel universe. And I love the Fantastic Four. Like the first family is incredible, and I love all their stories. And this cast feels like a family in a lot of ways, which is kind of strange. Like I didn't expect the chemistry to be like this strong before they even officially start filming the thing. So that just gets me even more excited. And again, the director being attached, I love WandaVision. So everything about this project feels like it's made for me where I am right now, where it's like, I haven't been loving the MCU, but this feels like it's going to be that thing where it's like, we're going to change things up. We're going to introduce characters that you care about, that you want to see done well. No more making Galactus a cloud. We're not going to have Father Time be an abusive brother, like just beating Ben. Like, we're going to cut all that weird crap out from the last few iterations. Back to basics. Please. Something fun. I'm hyped.
Listen, this cast.
We don't talk about that cloud.
That cloud just. That and Parallax from Green Lantern. Just what a nightmare.
Good Lord.
How did that happen twice? How did two big bands end up being clouds? What the hell?
And it did
Does
not
Dark Phoenix count? Actually?
Yeah. You know
what? Oh, God.
We got away with it 3 times.
Thank God we are past cloud-based villains.
No more clouds. There's actually a really good video of this whole cast like hugging before they go on to the stage of Hall H. I'm like, dude, the chemistry is cooking in this film. But I just got to point out that next July, we're not only getting this, we're getting our first family and our first superhero in Superman as well. Man, we are going to not only be eating, we're going to go rubbing, y'all, because this is going to be a summer for the ages for superhero films. Low, 1 to 10, man. How we feeling about the Fantastic Four?
So the Watcher in the chat was asking, this was the movie I was talking about. This way. This is my most anticipated comic book film for next year. I'm so excited. I mean, look, the Riz on this image here. I mean, we got Richie from The Bear, Eddie from Stranger Things. We got the Mandalorian himself, aka Oberyn Martell from Game of Thrones, aka Joel from The Last of Us. I mean, and Vanessa Kirby is just
the White Widow
queen. Like the first time I saw her in Hobbs and Shaw, I was like, who is this? I like this movie a lot more now. Like, never mind Jason Statham. Never mind Idris Elba. I was like, who is that? Like, so, and obviously, you guys have mentioned it. She's been great in the Mission Impossible series. I'm so happy to see her really break through with a project like this. So I think this is fantastic. Pun intended. 10 out of 10, baby. 11 out of 10. Just turn it all the way up. I'm here for it.
Listen, if I was Pedro Pascal, I would be getting choked up too. Okay.
Hey, he was like blushing. She was like, "You look sexy in that suit." He was like,
she had tongue-tied in 5 different interviews yesterday. It was amazing.
He got baby girl so hard. I respect that.
You know what? And some of those looks she was giving him, she has some like seductive eyes, man. Like,
oh yeah,
I would be flustered too.
White Widow.
These
we
are
know what
good actors.
Can't wait.
I see
I'm
why
so
Namor
excited
is the
for
way
it.
he is now, you know.
All right, y'all. Let's get to the last announcement, the big reveal. We had the Russo brothers confirmed to direct the last 2 Avengers movies. We had Avengers 5 finally get a title, Avengers 5 Doomsday. So we knew what was coming from that, but what we didn't know what was coming after that was who was going to be playing Dr. Doom. And that's Robert Downey Jr. himself returning to the MCU to play Dr. Doom, to play Victor Von Doom. And man, y'all can see it on the main channel. The energy is not as high right now, but yesterday, whoo, oh my God, when I seen that, it was like night and day. Amazing, phenomenal. Love the decision. Absolutely love it. I can't wait to see RDJ back. I love the Doctor Doom character. I love this move. I know it's very polarizing and I understand the criticisms, but for me, I was over the moon. I literally screamed in the video. But Mike, you've got a day to sit on it. How we feeling, man? We were streaming yesterday. Now that we've had a day to really think it over, how we feeling about RDJ coming back to play Dr. Doom?
Yeah, I'm kind of where because we talked it through after the panel ended too. We spent like another 20 minutes just yapping about everything we saw, and I think I'm in the same headspace of like, this can be really special. This could be really interesting, and I trust the Russos, Feige, Marcus, and McFeely to make something awesome. I mean, they did with the last 2 Avengers movies, but also we're leaning into that thing to come Tony Stark.
Sorry, Mike. I didn't mean to pull that up while you're talking, but Tyler just be coming with those, man.
You're good, because this was actually going to lead into what I was about to say anyway. So, like, that's fine. Like, I don't like that we're kind of drifting into the nostalgia carrying all of these movies, where it's like we already had the Spider-Man show up. We had Wolverine just this week alone and all of the Foxverse there. And it's like, are we relying on RDJ to put butts in seats instead of just like making a really good Avengers movie? Also, the pivot from Kang, is this too soon? Do they need more time to develop that? Because like they didn't mention Kang the Conqueror at all. It's just, hey, Kang Dynasty's not happening. We're going straight into Doomsday. And while I never liked Kang and I kept saying they need to just throw that plot line away anyway, I just hope that they actually thought this through and it's not just like, oh, this is a cash grab. This is going to make $1 billion because we got RDJ back. Like, I hope there's a purpose behind it.
That definitely, yeah, they got to have some good purpose behind doing this. But I think my most anticipated moment seeing this is going to be how Peter's going to react to this. Like, I want to see how Spider-Man is going to react to Dr. Doom unmasking himself, and it's the face of Tony Stark. See, that's just going to be so emotional.
That's the thing where, like, again, it depends on how they play it, because I also want Peter to be past Tony Stark. You know? So, like, once we ended No Way Home, right? And it's like he's finally back to, like, being classic Spidey, where he's on his own, he's alone. Like, I don't know if I want to tie him back to Tony again, you know? So they have to be really delicate with that. Obviously, if he sees Tony's face, you expect him to freak out. I'm not saying he should be neutral to it. But it's like, is that where we want to take the character again? You know?
That's fair. I just kind of feel like, you know, bringing that back around, and we're going to get probably maybe Spider-Man 4 before this. I think we'll get some more Peter development, but I want to see that reaction, man. How we feeling about this, Ileana?
Not for me. It's not.
Ooh.
No. Just no. Not. I saw this announcement and I was honestly kind of in shock that they, like, I've seen a lot of arguments for it. And I can understand the arguments for it. And there's a lot of, yes, there is a lot of potential to have some really, really interesting character interactions with the ramifications of this decision. I don't see why we need to backpedal on nostalgia, like Mike was saying, backpedal. Despite whether or not it's a Tony Stark variant, whether or not they stick to him being Victor Von Doom, I think having him just retread the MCU, and it's just, I feel like it's holding Marvel back from moving forward. And yes, it's the multiverse. Yes, you could do a million other things, but if this is officially like our one and only like Doctor Doom, and this is our big bad, it kind of lost it really lost its shine for me. For me particularly. I think Marvel can do better. I think they could have done something more than just recasting an iconic actor from the original like Infinity War saga, and just cast somebody new, cast somebody a little bit more accurate for the character, especially considering once again the kind of like this whole conversation on whitewashing Romani characters, which they did with Scarlet Witch. I don't know. It's just not settling well with me. I'm just gonna be a downer on this one, guys.
No worries. I kind of feel like my thing about this reveal is what I find so fascinating about this is that this is the guy that started it all, and I feel like he's gonna be the dude that also end it all. And then when Secret Wars happens, then it's like, okay, we're done. I feel like there's not gonna be no more Robert Downey. There's not gonna be no more Chris Evans coming back. Like we've got a fresh slate after Secret Wars. That's kind of where I think we're going, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. Richard, how you feeling about Robert Downey Jr. being Dr. Doom?
Well, I mean, first of all, when I heard you guys talking about it, I could have sworn it was some kind of prank. I didn't believe that, they would actually announce Robert Downey Jr. to play Dr. Doom. I mean, that's just blowing my mind even thinking about it. I there's a few things. I understand the complaints. I completely get it. I've been talking about it on Twitter all day. There's this one Twitter post I have, which I'll get into a little bit. It's got like 3,000 likes or something right now. And yes, I do agree on that bottom one. I would be shocked if he's the MCU's main Doctor Doom. I don't think you bring back Robert Downey Jr., especially like the biggest thing for me is that this is ending the multiverse saga, which if you're gonna go with something like that, I don't think there's a better time to do something like that. Bringing the guy who looks like Iron Man in to play arguably like one of the biggest villains in Marvel history. So like I think that's gonna throw the Avengers like from a story perspective. I think that's gonna throw them for a huge loop, especially for the ones who have been around a while. Not even just like the Peter Parkers. You got the Thors and the Hawkeyes and everything because their Secret Wars is going to bring everybody back. I would be shocked if that cast list isn't just the biggest cast list for any comic book movie we've ever seen. And yep, totally, yeah. Tony Stark died a hero, but RDJ lived long enough to see himself become the villain. I have seen that all over social media, but I am trying to stay optimistic about it. I think if they do this right, I think it could be something really, really special. And I think what's really helping me feel good about this is not only are the Russo brothers coming back, but McFeely's coming back to write. I didn't see actually, I think it's just McFeely, not Marcus and McFeely, which is going to be kind of interesting. But he did help write 5 of the MCU to be the MCU's best movies. And Joe and Anthony Russo did 4 of Marvel Studios' biggest successes ever, critically, financially, however you want to look at it. And not to mention 2 other things. The Russos have wanted to do Secret Wars forever. It was the first comic they've ever read. They have been dying to do this movie for a long, long time, and they finally get that shot. And there's a story going around that I think is confirmed that Downey actually auditioned or met with somebody to actually play Doom in the original Fantastic Four, the one that ended up going to Julian McMahon. So I'm excited to see him get a chance at this role now that he's older. He's been away from the MCU for a while. It's a totally different character for him than Tony Stark was. But I see the complaints. I see the concern. I understand it, but I'm excited. I'm very curious to see how this all plays out. And like one of the comments said, this isn't going to be Robert Downey Jr. coming back for a long time in the MCU. This is going to be like a 2-movie thing. And then I think it's going to be the end for him. And, hopefully we get an officially accurate Doom and everything later on. Maybe that's developed. You could get, a Doom for the Fantastic Four to face themselves. But I do think if you're going to go for somebody that big who's been in the MCU before, Downey's a pretty crazy choice. I hope it's going to work.
Yeah, man. I understand the criticisms too. It could feel like kind of like backpedaling. It could feel desperate. Yeah. It could feel kind of like a grab, like, oh, yeah, well, this didn't work, so let's go back to what works. I totally understand and see that perspective 100%.
And also one more thing too on that point is that everybody's been complaining about the MCU being bad for the last 4 years anyways. So like they're big outside of like the No Way Homes and the Shang-Chi's and stuff. I mean, I know we love these movies a lot more than like the general public does, but the general public has been really, really down on the MCU. So why not go back to something that works for something like that, especially for movies like the Avengers movies that need to be really good. And like, I don't know how many more people you trust than the Russos and Robert Downey Jr. to put forth something good and something that they think is going to be good.
I think it was Mike.
Though, wouldn't that be cause for concern, right? Because I think for me, it's all taking in the context of everything, right? Like we've had interviews of Bob Iger earlier this year saying that he wants Marvel to kind of go back to basics and that they should start making safer plays, and all of a sudden, all this starts to happen, and Kang is out and Downey's back, and so that's I guess the concern would be it's not organic. It's very much Marvel leaning into the hey, we're going to go with what works. We're going to go with what we think is safe, as opposed to like fostering that creativity that made those first.
And I get that. I totally get it.
Yeah.
Good comment here, especially after Major's gotten so much legal trouble. I had to do something massive in the shakeup of Avengers 5. I wonder if Kang's still involved. There's been no mention, and they haven't officially really shut it down. So who knows? But I heard a little rumor somewhere that he might pop up again. But listen, I love Dr. Doom coming in, but that's interesting, Richard, about saying that he's only going to be that in the last 2 Avengers movies. Because I'm on the same wavelength of that. We'll probably just get that for the final 2. Maybe he'll pop up in F4 in the end as the post credit, and if that's just to close. I feel like closing the multiverse saga full of variants with a variant as the main villain is a pretty cool move. Lo, how you feeling about it?
Initially I was kind of on the fence, but now that I've slept on it, I'm okay with it. But at the same time, I hear all the criticisms, and like I hear this a lot actually. Laser's saying, "Oh, does this show that Marvel failed to have new talent, new names?" And here's my thing for that is like, I absolutely think this is a one and done. Shit, this might just be Doomsday and that's it. Like this Doom doesn't even appear in Secret Wars maybe, or I think this leaves the door open for another Doom, for another actor to play the role. I'm Absolutely. Very much buying into this. Like I'm very much buying into like this is a multiverse thing and it's a one and done and that's it. But at the same time, I can kind of hear what Mike and a lot of people are saying of like, oh, they're kind of just desperately falling back on Robert Downey's fame. He's Academy Award winning Robert Downey Jr. now, right? But all that being said, I think coming full circle, like you were saying, Leo, I think it's kind of appropriate, especially if, like you said, this is what I was thinking yesterday as well. If we wipe the slate clean from this point and Phase 6 is all about, Young Avengers or just something completely new, then let that be that. And then this could be like RDJ's swan song as a villain, which is kind of fun. I kind of like it.
Yeah, man. It's like go Secret Wars, and then let's just no more bringing nobody back. No more, none of that. move in the mutant saga and do mutants and just have new cast, new characters that we had, or same characters but new cast. Let's just go with the clean slate after Secret Wars. All the kings forever trapped in this game.
They're all cheating. They're like, yeah, they're just stuck.
That's their void within the void.
What if the movie opens and just like that entire building just like crumbles and they all just die and that's the end of Kang?
Oh man, that would be some Deadpool shit.
That would totally be some Deadpool shit.
No, honestly, I have a question for you guys, right quick. Like the idea that RDJ is just playing a variant, right? How often do you expect to see Doctor Doom? That's my concern. Like, if he's the villain of like 2 movies, and he appears in Fantastic Four in some capacity, do we expect more than 3 appearances of Doctor Doom anyway? I feel like all your shots are just going to be of RDJ, and that character's not going to come back.
I think. Are you saying like they're just going to like use Doctor Doom for the 2 movies and then that's it?
Yeah, well, like a lot of online chatter is like, well, don't worry, the real invert universe Doctor Doom is going to show up, and I'm like, well, this isn't even the in-universe Fantastic Four, so I don't know if I would lean on that too much,
Right. I'm not sure. I mean, I know after this they're going mutant saga, so I'm like, do we return with another Fantastic Four? I'm not entirely sure. Or do we do Fantastic Four 2 with this cast and it is a different Doom? Right. I'm not entirely sure, man.
That's a lot of Doctor Doom is my point, though. It's like if he's the villain of
too much. It's overcomplicating things, I think, a bit.
I mean, I hear you guys with it being kind of messy, but my first impression hearing this yesterday was, oh, cool, he's going to do this one time, because I don't see him as the Doom. Like, I don't think he's
till he's 90, Lo.
No.
Till he's 90.
That was very ominous. It was funny at first. I'm like, oh crap, we're really just gonna do that.
Till you're 90.
Till he's 90.
By the way, kind of like, I know we talked about Deadpool and Wolverine. Did any of y'all actually think they were gonna just kill them off? Because I thought that would have been a fitting ending for both of them.
Yeah.
Kill the 2 of them.
Yeah, I thought like they would perish, and then if we ever saw Deadpool again, it would be a different Deadpool. I mean, that's what I thought they were gonna do. But
I never really thought that. But if they did, it would have been a poetic ending. Like I would have been.
Yeah,
okay, cool.
I could say maybe more for Logan than Deadpool because I feel like they want to keep Deadpool around for a while.
Yeah,
right.
But yeah,
they like Ryan and that.
Oh yeah, no, hey guys, they're gonna milk Deadpool for all he's worth. So Ryan Reynolds better gear up.
I did feel a little surprised that not only did Hugh Jackman's character survive, but we also get Captain X-23. And I'm like, are these 2 just going to come over to the MCU now? Or because I felt like the whole point was to wrap all this up and like Deadpool crossover, but we didn't do that. So I'm like, oh.
So I had a lot of questions.
I know. And not to mention, how did you even get there? The last time we saw them, they were like, they were in the void. So did she just somehow manage to get out of there? Who knows, man? Did she sneak behind Cassandra Nova when she came?
Story-wise, guys, there was a lot left unanswered there.
Yeah.
But that's not why we went, right? We didn't go for the story.
Yep.
I did. That's probably why I'm mad.
Oh no!
Yeah.
There you go. That's why Mike's mad.
Man, I don't think it should be that much to ask for at the end of the day. But here we are.
Geek Ledger, Secret Wars idea ends the Earth 616, and we pick up in Fantastic Four's universe in the 60s, and we see that universe moving forward along with mutants.
Wild.
That'd be pretty crazy. But I mean, do you want just one movie with that fantastic cast? If it's fantastic, I want to get more with them.
They better not. They better keep them. What the hell?
we just got them.
Right.
Yeah, no, that is our Fantastic Four. They better stop that shit.
Yeah.
The comment is saying 616 ends, right? So like the MCU as we know it dies, and then we follow the Fantastic Four's universe in the 60s, which would be very interesting.
I don't necessarily
fuck with it.
Yeah, I was like, I don't necessarily hate it. Because then you hit a reset.
Yeah, it's a hard reboot, like in a distinct time period. It's gonna feel completely different.
Yeah.
So, guys, I know this is like one corner of the internet, but I kind of hear what Kaizi's saying here. It's like he's frustrated because it's not really the Doom he was expecting. But if it's not the Doom we were expecting, then it's kind of like a lose-lose for people that wanted something different with the character.
And I feel that, and I bounce back and forth because it's like, is it a Tony variant? Is it Victor Von Doom that just kind of looks like?
They did announce him as Victor Von Doom, so
I thought so, but there's been a little back and forth, and then I know in the comics there was an Iron Man run where he does become Doom, so it's I do want to just see how this plays out.
We've only known about this for a day, so there's still a lot to flesh out.
Yeah, we got a couple years before we see that one, but I think unanimous. Everybody's favorite announcement was definitely that Fantastic Four. I think unanimously, it's like Fantastic Four is going to carry us over into an era that feels feels self-contained in these movies, where they just all have this different and unique feeling. But we've got Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars, May 2026 and 2027.
Tyler, we're never going to see them again. My babies.
Nah, man.
We're never going to see them again.
I think Iger came back.
That's a plot point, but like the Eternals just got yoinked off the planet, and we're just never gonna follow that up.
I love them, but we're never seeing them again.
It's homophobic at this point.
I hate that everyone hates the Eternals. I love the Eternals.
Yeah,
I like that movie enough, but it's annoying how many people hate it.
It's ridiculous.
Bob Iger probably came in
ways that I would have fixed it. I think it could have done with the Disney Plus series to introduce us to everybody first, and maybe because I feel like my only big thing with Eternals, there was a lot of characters to introduce in 2.5 hour movie. I think that's the biggest, like how what we were saying with Cat 4, especially for an origin movie, there was a ton that they tried to stuff into that in terms of characters, and I love them. They're great characters. It was just a lot to try to do in one movie.
A lot of characters, a lot of different time periods. I think 6 episodes on Disney Plus probably would have served it a lot better.
That's what I've been saying since I saw it.
Yeah, like a mini series. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, like do 6 episodes, 2 characters per episode, and just give them an hour to develop their backstories and everything.
How do you guys feel about this comment? Like, the stunt casting has shock value, and they're not really building anything up with it.
That's how I'm feeling about it. I'm not gonna lie, guys. It's just I don't know. I don't want to be cynical about it, but damn, they really got me with this one. They really got me, and I was really at a high with the Fantastic Four bit, and then it just one step forward, 2 steps back. That's how I'm feeling with this. So no matter how you kind of slice it, you just kind of lose the magic that we were gaining with the momentum that Fantastic Four First Steps was having.
I feel like it depends on if he's in Fantastic Four. Like if he's in the movie, I feel like you reveal it this early if he's in Fantastic Four, because he's probably going to be on set. If that's the case, then maybe that fixes the whole chemistry thing. Like if he is the Doom of that universe. Again, they're a different universe, so if he's in that universe, it
seems like Galactus is going to be the main villain. But even if he's built up as maybe a smaller supporting character or whatever, if they could at least get something going with him to start in that movie. Well, because here's the thing I was thinking too. I was actually writing an article about this the other day. Other than Ultron, all of the Avengers level villains have been in movies before the Avengers movies. Like Loki was in Thor, and then Thanos was in Guardians of the Galaxy, and had that end credit scene in Age of Ultron. So I could definitely see them bringing Downey into Fantastic Four in some capacity, whether it's a cameo or even a minor supporting role. Hopefully they do that. Hopefully that'll kind of help lead him into the Avengers movies better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like what you guys are saying. I would love to see him at least a little bit in Fantastic Four to establish some kind of relationship with those characters. That would be great, just to get that chemistry cooking. Because man, I do want to see Pedro and Robert Downey on screen together. I'm down. I always imagined it to be Tony Stark, but we're gonna get as Victor Von Doom. Okay,
that's actually pretty cool. Get them on screen together.
Yeah, man. I was like, well, I wanted it to be Tony, but
they could develop a pretty solid relationship with each other. They're pretty close in age, ironically enough, and I think they could work out really well off each other, Pedro and Robert Downey Jr.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't wait for that. I feel that Doomsday will do Infinity War and in-game box office numbers. People are definitely going to show up. Like, they're going to show up for these.
Hey, No Way Home almost made $2 billion. So,
absolutely.
And that was the dead middle of COVID, too.
Absolutely, man. Well, hey, I will say this, y'all. The panel, I had one theory before starting the stream. I wonder if Kevin Feige saw that James Gunn wasn't coming and was like, okay, we can kind of pull some stuff back and not really reveal our Phase 6 slate, and we'll be back next year with the rest. Because I feel like we didn't really map out Phase 6 at all. Like they gave us this, and that was really it. And that's fine to map out the next couple movies, but I kind of wanted the preview of what was coming next.
We know nothing about Phase 6 other than Fantastic Four and the two Avengers movies.
Like, are we getting? Where's Shang-Chi been, y'all? Like, I'm just like, I need Shang-Chi.
Been in that damn library.
Yeah, for years. I'm like, come on, man. We coming up on
he's been studying in Comatage.
He's gonna come out a damn stage.
Right.
Like, I don't even need movie announcements. Who are the Avengers, y'all? That's my question. Like, who stars in this movie?
Literally.
Who's the team? It's like, okay, like you'll probably have Captain America there, and maybe Captain Marvel.
Right,
who
like,
else?
Instead of bringing Doom out, I would have been more hyped if they were just like, "Hey, these are the new Avengers," and that could have been the announcement for me. And I'm just like, okay, I don't know who Dr. Doom's fighting. Like, oh, the Fantastic Four is in the movie. Like, cool. Who are the Avengers though? And we never learned, never figured it out.
Yeah, we need that lineup, man. But I'm telling y'all, Kevin Feige was like, we can come back next year when DC decides to show up.
Yeah. Next year's the year I get to go for my first time. Holy crap.
Hey guys, this is a good question because I loved seeing Roy Kent as Hercules, even though I didn't love the movie, but that would be awesome if we still get Hercules. So
right.
Dude, I was at the Thor Love and Thunder screening. I flipped when I realized it was Brett Goldstein playing Hercules. I was so on board with it.
I feel like there's
he's every fun.
He's every freaking where. Roy Kent. So good. Yeah. I feel like we have this in limbo, the next Spider-Man in limbo, Blade in limbo, Shang-Chi and 2 in limbo. I need them to announce those. Yeah, I'm like, I need them to announce.
Yeah, what I really need is some Spider-Man news and some Shang-Chi news. Those are my top two that I'm really looking to find out about.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, thank you guys so much for coming out. It was great having the guests on the panel. Good having you back, Ileana. Always good chatting with everybody. Let's go around the horn, let the people know where they can find you and what's coming up on your respective channels. Starting with you, Richard. Where can the people find you and what's coming up?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me again. It's always a blast talking to you, and can't wait for next time. You can find me at Richard Nebens, just the way the name says right there. Spelled right there. It's on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, wherever you want to find me. I'm writing all the time for the Direct. I've got a bunch of articles. I've got a bunch of Marvel stuff, which has been very fun. I got to help break the Downey news as Dr. Doom yesterday. Wrote up a couple fun ones on Fantastic Four today, and coming out with stuff every day. So follow me there. I'm on a bunch of podcasts, talking with my friends about all this stuff. And just follow me online at Richard Nebens and chat me up anytime.
Absolutely. Always great having you on, Richard. We appreciate you coming. I know it's kind of late, so we appreciate you, man. Thank you for coming.
Thor versus nine-ish for me, so I'm good.
Yeah. Dawn of Avenge, Thor versus Hercules. Okay.
I'm down,
man. Listen, if they just make that straight up, just like those two duking it out for a good amount.
Thor versus Hercules.
I mean, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm in. Ileana, Captain Melendez. Let us know where the people can find you and what you got coming up.
Yes, sir. You can find me at Captain Melendez on Twitter, Letterboxd, and Instagram. And you can also find me here every Sunday on Geekly Goods Live, as well as the Puerto Rico Critics Association. We have a lot of fun stuff coming up, so be sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And Lo, let the people know where can they find you and what you got coming up.
Yes. So you can follow me on Twitter and Letterboxd at Marcellus Durden. I am a proud I don't know why I'm talking like that, guys. Sorry. I'm a proud critic, writer, and editor for the Cinema Spot. You can follow us on all socials at the Cinema Spot. Check us out, thecinemaspot.com. Like I said, I just wrote a spoiler-filled review because Deadline, Variety, Entertainment Weekly, they literally spoiled the movie already. So I figured I usually do non-spoiler reviews, guys, but I figured the cat's out the bag, guys. So I wrote a spoiler review for Deadpool and Wolverine. Check it out at thecinemasspot.com.
Yeah, they do that every single time. I am so done with them.
It's insane, dude. And Entertainment Weekly has like a legit photo shoot with the cameo stars. Like, there's like Wesley Snipes in a really nice photo. I'm like, what is happening right now? Like,
some of that is Marvel's fault. It's like they had a Deadpool and Wolverine panel,
and they posted
were there.
Yeah,
they posted
that I wasn't necessarily okay with that coming from Marvel.
Wild.
I'm like, it's opening Thursday, Marvel. Like, we get it. You guys want to promote the movie, but dang, man, you didn't have
Nothing really happens on Sundays. Why didn't they just kick that to Sunday? Give people a couple days to try and see the movie.
Seriously.
Yeah, honestly, that would have been
it's just
like closing out panel.
Yeah.
It kind of sucks that they timed it to where it released on the day of Comic-Con, because that would have been cool if it released like the week after, like
a little time,
or the week,
Mike, where can we find you, my friend?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me back. It's been a blast. You can find me at Novice Cinephile on Twitter, YouTube, TikTok. On Instagram, it's The Novice Cinephile. Also, my podcast, The Chatter After. On the Amateur Otaku, we're talking a lot of My Hero Academia. For the written stuff, go to Collider.com. I've got a review of Batman Caped Crusader and Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Excuse me, Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. There's too many of those shows. I'm sorry to keep up. It's great, though. Check it out. A lot of stuff coming this week. A lot of still superhero stuff related dropping this week. It's going to be a blast. And Leo and I are working on another thing you might want to keep an eye on, talking about superhero animation. So stay tuned for that.
Yes, guys, stay tuned for the project coming up on the channel. We also got some Marvel coverage coming up this week. I'm going to be checking out Caped Crusader, getting a review out at some point. It won't be tomorrow, but sometime this week, I'll definitely be checking it out and getting the review up. So come on over to the main channel and check that out. And guys, come on back here, same time, same place next week for some more Geekly Goody news. And we'll see you guys next time on Geekly Goodies. Great stream.
Yes. I have no idea why that happened. But...
What happened?
I hate that you broke character. I wanted you to keep.
I don't know. I was just being silly, and then I couldn't get out of it. I just kept talking, and I was like, why am I still?
He dropped it. I was like, commit.
Commit to the bit.
I love that.
We'll do it in solidarity next week.
You've heard what I do on this show.
I love that everything we got this weekend, like the one video James Gunn drops is him just like talking about a freaking logo. That'll still piss me off for like the next weeks.
Come on. Listen, it would have been freaking dope if he did drop a David Corn sweat, like full on suit reveal, like an actual suit video.
Yeah.
Just a
give us
picture
maybe
of David and,
just him spinning around like a Fortnite character.
Yeah. Yes.
Him just eating.
Right.
No, but like get him and Lex. Photo done. Over.
Right.
But no, it's just like 90 minutes of yapping about a logo that we've had since the 70s. It's like, shut up, bro.
Shut up, man. We got the Creature Commandos trailer.
Yeah.
Oh, we're
shit.
still
live. Hey guys, we are still on.
Oh.
You didn't hit the button.